last few days, I've been just getting connected and just being very comfortable with this 3.0. Before I started messing with 3.0, I knew there was a lot to get used to, and I think I just hit this point where I feel completely comfortable with working on my sequencer and the arranger, just combining these two together. I've made a few videos already. I'm talking about this and I'm gonna talk about it again because it's groundbreaking when you start really connecting yourself and finding yourself on how to move around. We have the sequence, which is my sequence number 1. That's my main loop right there. I only have 2 bars in sequence number 1. Now, this is the way I work, and everybody might be a bit different, but I just want to share with you where and why I'm finding myself so good with my sequences and my arranger page. On the sequence, I don't care about the way the song is going to come out. I don't care about an intro. I don't care about choruses or bridge. I just care about finding my sample and my drums and trying to blend them, trying to look for something that I like or I want to work and build on top of. Once I find a solid idea that I like, then I will record 2 bars or 4 bars. Okay, so this is the part where a lot of people will get stuck. What now? What next? What do I do? Like, it sounds cool, but it's just 2 bars. It's pretty annoying after a while. What if I want to just build up on this and bring the drums in or have an introduction? That's where back in 2.0, a lot of people would get stuck on, because working with separate sequences and then piecing them together in song mode and then taking that song mode and exporting it out to another empty sequence so you could finalize it. Like, there was a lot of moving pieces. But the way I'm working right now, and the way I'll show you how I'm working, is completely different. It just takes the stress off of these building blocks and gives me everything right here on my main page within one sequence. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I have sequence number 1, and I have these sample chops. Now, I also have drums in track number 1. It's actually just 3 one-shots. It's kick, snare, and hi-hat. And by the way, these drums are from my sample pack volume 3. I'll leave a link down in the description. Now, the way I like to start, especially when I'm working with a sample that I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, I'll probably just start with my drums and lay that down on the grid first. Right here, I have these drums. Very simple. That's all I have. The reason why I want those drums on the grid is just 2 bars, is because I want to start playing with those sample chops that I brought in track number 2. I'm not sure if this is going to work, so I like to have a reference, some drums that I have, and then start performing different chops and seeing if I can find myself with this loop. Like, that's cool, but I find myself that I'm just repeating and I'm going based off of the chops. But I found a quick little twist that I can just flip this onto my own. Okay. See, now I'm having fun with this different variation. I find myself locked into this instead of just playing this the way it already sounded. Now, I'm not pitching up, I'm not pitching down, but this is a quick idea. I don't know if I'm going to remember how I played it. So really fast, again, this sequence is like scratch paper. I'm going to record this idea down on the grid before I forget. Is at this point where I decide, okay, do I want to build on top of what I have right now? This is my idea. In this case, yes, I want to build on top of this. So I'll grab this sequence right here, hit this little pencil icon, and double length that 2 bars into 4 bars. So now it's just repeating for 4 bars. I'm going to do that again. And now is repeating for 8 bars. That's cool. I'm going to leave it at 8 bars because now I want to start building a variation or maybe an intro to this. And this is now where I'm hopping over to the arranger. When I go into the arranger, I'm able to see the whole entire 8 bars right here. And now we have these loop markers, and we can set a loop point of just the first bar. But I'm going to select 2 bars as an introduction. Now, What's awesome and what I've really been liking with the whole tracks now, the programs are embedded into the tracks, is right here you have a duplicate icon. I'm going to duplicate this sample chop program, and now this is the duplicate version. I can actually rename this right here. I'm going to call it Chops Filter, and I'm going to hit close. So now this Chops Filter, I can add a whole different set of effects that's not going to interfere with my main sample chops because this is a duplicate. Back then, you could not have done this. You would have to duplicate the track and duplicate the program. It just got a little weird with different programs and then putting them into tracks. Right now, you just have to push one button, and now you have that duplicate. I go into Air Filter. Now I can just add that. I'm going to put that first intro right here in the first 2 bars. But before I add that, I want to get rid of the original Sample Chops intro because remember we duplicated this like 16 bars or 8 bars. So I want to get rid of the first 2 bars. This is the workflow that I've been getting comfortable with, and it's actually been really easy as soon as you get the quick keys. If I want to delete the first 2 bars of this sample track right here, I hit this little pencil icon that says edit, and I'm going to go to erase and make sure that sample track is selected, which I know it's selected because I see it right there. And I'm going to just tell it to delete these 2 bars from bar 1 all the way to bar 3. Hit do it. Now we have a blank intro. But you know what? I also want to delete the drums and the bass. I'm going to hit erase, get rid of those drums, and get rid of that bass. Now I'm going to just record the intro. Let that play out. Nice. Now I got 4 bars as it drops. It goes in 4 times, but on the 5th bar, I want to switch up the melody of the sample chops. So now I can select my loop point from bars 5 and 6, and I can switch something up right there so that it can sound a bit different. So I'm actually going to hit this pencil icon, go to erase, and I'm going to erase from bars 7 to 9, hit do it. I got some clean bars right here that I can mess with. I like that. Let's lay that down. Yeah. Back to the start, and now I could even drop out some drums if I want to get rid of some drums. Let's go right here to track number 3 where I have my drums. Now moving around like this has been so fun. If I want to get rid of just the kick and the hat of the first down beat, hit this little upper arrow and I'm able to zoom in right here, and I have my performance with my drums, kick and hi-hat. I'm actually just going to get rid of the kick by itself, hit shift cut, and now is going to come in downbeat, no kick, and then it's hi-hat and back to the snare. Yeah. I'm also going to get rid of that bass hit in the same spot. Grab that, get rid of it, hit cut, and now we have nothing, just the sample. Man, it honestly feels just the way I would work in any other DAW. I have that right here in the MPC and standalone. If I want to unplug my MPC, go downstairs and just do my edits without being in the studio, I can do that. I don't need to bring down the whole computer. I can do that right here from this Arranger. Now, at first, when I started messing with MPC 3.0, I loved it. I mean, the whole mixing side, that is just so powerful, but whole different video. But I thought, like, you know what, I'm gonna just work the way I'm used to in 2.0, just build sequences, sequence 1, 2, 3, and then just piece them together in song mode and do the way I used to do it. But I just feel like going from the sequences to the Arranger, being able to bounce back and forth between those, it just makes this process so much fun. Back then, it just seemed like, all right, it's time to arrange the beat, which felt a little more like, this is the boring part. Just being in song mode to me was not really a headache, but I was like, all right, cool, let's start piecing all these puzzles together. But now just staying in your main page and hopping over to the Arranger and just doing this while you're creating becomes really fun. Now, also, if you are part of the Patreon, do not forget to download the sample chops that I already have chopped up for you. Download these files, put them into your SD card, load it up onto your MPC, follow along, or create your own flips. Also, if anybody is part of the MPC course, whether MPC Live or MPC 1, just an update, now you'll be able to watch the MPC 3.0 course videos. I'm releasing them chapter by chapter, so right now, if you go all the way at the bottom, you'll see 3.0 course videos. If you're not signed up yet, I'll leave a link down in the description. Now, there is no right or wrong. If you're not doing it this way, it does not mean it's the wrong way of doing it, but it's just different people are going to adapt to a different workflow, especially right now that 3.0 has just dropped. I know there's going to be a lot of people finding themselves. Maybe some of my techniques are like, oh man, I just can't work like that, which is completely fine. But the main thing is just finding your groove, especially with this update. And yeah, if this update's a little too much, I mean, you're always more than welcome to go back down to 2.0. All right, guys, so I just wanted to share this with you. I've been having so much fun with MPC 3.0. I will be doing a video later on the whole mixer side of this, the Channel Strip XL, and just mixing in 3.0. That is where I feel like the biggest improvements have been, at least for me, just building a beat. So I'll be launching a video on that pretty soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace.